It's Finish Strong Friday. Let's go. What's up, everybody? Trey Griggs here, Beta Consulting Group, and you are here for another episode of Standing Out, a daily podcast about sales, marketing, and leadership. We got a great show for you today. It's going to be awesome. But before we do that, listen, it's Friday, everybody, and you know what that means. It's Finish Strong Friday. So make sure that whatever you do today, you're getting after it. You're giving it everything you got. That weekend's going to be much better. The steak on the grill tonight is going to taste that much sweeter if you finish strong. So make sure you do that. And we get a chance after the show today, go check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com. See how we're helping companies tell their stories and move out of the realm of obscurity into becoming a well-known brand. We're all about building brands here. That's what we love to do. Love to work with you and talk to you about the stories that you want to tell. So check us out at betaconsultinggroup.com, fill out a form, and give us some feedback because we're about to upgrade our website. We're very excited about that. So any feedback you have for us is well received. Look forward to that. Also, I want to give a shout out to our friends over at Taft's. They're the good guys in freight factoring. They're helping companies tell their stories or helping drivers. I'm sorry, that's what we do. It's Friday, everybody. They're helping drivers keep those wheels turning by giving them discounts on fuel, tires, also cash flow through factoring, small business loans, needs with insurance, dispatching, all that good stuff. So make sure you check them out. And if you're a driver behind the wheel of a truck, thank you so much. It's Driver Appreciation Month, but we want to appreciate drivers all year round. You guys are the heroes of this economy, so we appreciate that. Got some people hopping into the audience today already. Danny M, what's up? Matthew Kane, thanks so much. Yes, it is TGIF. Thank goodness it's Friday. It's going to be a great day. But anyways, check out the guys over at Taft's. And the easiest way to do it is to click on the link that Ruth or Morgan's going to put into the comments. That's going to take you directly to my landing page with Taft's so they know that I sent you. I got to get credit for this, folks, so definitely check it out. And listen, if you're a freight broker, you can partner with Taft's as well and become a referral partner to make sure that the carriers that you work with have all the resources they need to keep those wheels turning, keep the freight moving. So check them out when you get a chance. And also, one more thing, it's Friday, everybody. So we're going to have Word on the Street at 12 o'clock today. It's a very exciting episode today. We're going to have Matt Smalley of Cambridge Capital. We're going to talk about M&A within transportation logistics. It's going to be an exciting show with the street crew. We're going to talk a little U.S. Open tennis, a little college football, and of course, This Week in Picture. So don't miss it. 12, noon Central, 1 Eastern, right here on LinkedIn Live, Facebook, Twitter, and what's the other one? Gosh, I already forgot YouTube. It's a crazy day, everybody. We're live today, so that's how it goes. All right, listen, let's get the show started today. We've had an awesome week of shows, incredible guests all week. You can catch all those shows on demand from Monday all the way to today's right here on LinkedIn or YouTube. Again, Michael Caney on Monday, Sadie Church on Tuesday. Great conversation with Andy Shields on Wednesday. Jeff Lance yesterday coming to us from the lake in Florida. And then today, my good friend Lionel Johnston is coming on the show. So without any more interruption, let's get to it. This guy I met recently. I met him at the TMSA conference. For those of you who might have been there, the Level Up conference, we decided to do a little TikTok dance. And I asked Jennifer Krupp-Charmaine, who should I reach out to? This guy's name was mentioned and he participated, had a great time, great character, does some good work in the industry. Can't wait to bring him on. Everybody, please welcome to the show, my good friend, Lionel Johnston. Lionel, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, good. Thanks. Looking forward to finishing strong here. Thanks for having me.
Love it, man. You have the best background we've seen so far. I'm not going to lie. Like, that background is solid. We talked about it before we came on the air. Looks like a little stucco brick of some sort. There's some rebar showing there. I mean, it's cool. I love that. Plus, you got the nice drywall on the side. It's a nice mix there. Well done.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah, I'm in this nice co-working office in downtown Thunder Bay. I'm actually, so I live in Winnipeg, but I'm in Thunder Bay. I've got a cross-country mountain bike race here tomorrow. So I came in a day early to get all set.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that and your sleep schedule here in just a minute. But before we get started here, take 30 seconds or so and tell everybody a little bit about who you are and about what you got going on.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Lionel Johnston. I work with a company and run it called Farmers Marketing. And we basically help small and medium-sized businesses with lead generation. So we actually position ourselves more as fractional chief marketing officers. So we're the senior marketing layer within our clients' companies rather than being a traditional agency. But yeah, it works out quite well. And we do lots in the truck driving space. And yeah, we're happy to be here. I'm happy to share more as we go along.
I love that. Yeah, I can't wait to talk about drivers. And it is Driver Appreciation Month, everybody. So if you don't do it any other time of the year, although we encourage you to do it every day out of the year, make sure you're thinking a driver out there. I mean, they're the heroes out there. They're missing time at home. They're missing, a lot of events that we often take for granted that we get to experience. So make sure you think a driver. Go to. I'll tell you what I like to do. Like, go to a local truck stop, or if you see a driver at a grocery store because they're bringing the food, just go up to them, shake their hand, say thank you, tell them you appreciate them, because it's not an easy life out there, that's for sure. So we definitely appreciate that. All right, Lionel, let's talk about this race you got coming up. So you got a mountain bike race coming up.
Yeah.
How many kilometers? Six,
It's
was
40,
it
48 kilometers, so probably
48
30,
kilometers?
32 miles. Yeah, it should take me 2.5 to 3 hours, which is my longest race by far. And prior to this summer, I haven't raced on a bike since I was probably 11 or 12 years old. So it's been fun getting back into it.
I was gonna say this is a relatively new thing for you. You haven't been like biking your whole life, like some might expect. It's somewhat new. How'd you get into it?
Yeah. Well, I've always enjoyed biking, and now I'm just in a little different life stage where I've got a bit more free time to be able to hop on the bike and get out there and do trips like I'm doing right now. Yeah, it's been great though, and I don't want to. I have no delusions of being competitive. My goal is just to finish, right? Again, this will be a big race tomorrow, so looking forward to it. But it's fun. Like when you're on the trail, you're bombing down a trail. Like I have to balance, not getting injured too badly, but with the adrenaline of going down the trail real fast. But you don't think about anything else, right? You're just there
Yeah.
with the trail on your bike, and it's a pretty fun, fun experience for sure.
Well, it's just good to find something you enjoy, to do and to
Yeah.
be active. Those are always good things. I've gotten into Tough Mudders,
Oh, okay.
which
Well,
and those types of obstacle races, because I've got
yeah.
to tell you, I hate to run. Like I'm not a runner. Like some people get up and they're like, when am I going to run today? That is not me. But I
Mm,
love to play tennis. I love to play basketball. I love to do things that running's involved, but I'm not thinking about running, if that
yeah.
makes sense. And so these types of obstacle races have been pretty enjoyable to do them with the team, to feel like I'm
Yeah.
using my upper body just as much as my lower body. It's actually much more enjoyable. So
Hmm.
I'm with you. It's nice to have something, and the goal is just to finish. The time is
Yeah.
like secondary, tertiary. It's way down the list in terms of what I care about. Just want to finish, which is important.
Definitely. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
so Lionel, let's talk driver recruiting real quick. So you're working in this space quite a bit. We'd love to hear your background a little bit about recruitment, how you've been involved in it, and what that means for in terms of what you're doing today.
Yeah, no, yeah, thanks for asking. Yeah, so actually, it's funny seeing as though I'm in Thunder Bay because that was really where my recruitment journey started, and it all happened by accident. I actually have a Bachelor of Arts in criminology and planned on going the corrections route. I got this part-time sales job selling Cutco cutlery actually, and right out of university, and did really well at it. And 10 months later, I moved to Thunder Bay, and I opened a business here actually, not too far from where I am today. And I was recruiting anywhere from 200 to 400 sales reps a year, and was with that company for 10 years, and it was just a phenomenal experience. And I have lots of friends still that I worked with back then, and again that was in my 20s, but yeah, great company, and learned a lot of great skills, and it was really just about building those relationships, and knowing how to treat people right, and do well, the right thing is always the right thing, right? But just again, um, one thing I'll share with that is all of my sales reps, they were independent contractors, so I couldn't force them to do anything. It wasn't like, hey, you have to do this,
Right.
you get fired. I had to learn how to encourage each and every one of them, right, and motivate them to have them want to perform, right. So it was really a great, I gained some great skills back then. And then I ended up moving into a small family-run business in Winnipeg, and actually moved into franchise sales, which is a little bit different, but still the same philosophies and the mechanics are the same. And then I ended
Yeah.
up actually doing international marketing. I got more into the marketing and then corporate marketing with one of Canada's largest trucking companies, and was there for almost 7 years. And that was really where I had gained my first experience in transportation and trucking. And we basically would be recruiting anywhere from 400 to 600 drivers a year. And then now running my own company, we have active clients right now in trucking that we are basically their driver recruitment part of their business. So they have some people internally, but again, we're basically working on everything up to the point where someone's filling out an application, and then
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
they run with that from there. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I love that, and I
Yeah.
love what you said going back. It's like this, it's always the right time to do the right thing, and treating people the
Mhm.
right way. it's always the right thing. Learning how to use a carrot as opposed to the stick, because it's just
Yeah.
understanding human behavior, right? And when it comes
Mhm.
to drivers, I mean, it amazes me how different parts of the industry treat drivers and expect them to be okay with it. I mean, it
Mhm.
still amazes me that a shipping receiver or pickup location won't offer a restroom to a human being, and it's like
Yeah.
that's it's just almost unbelievable to think about that, because there's nowhere else around to do that. You're driving, you're trying to make
Exactly.
an appointment and get there on time. You don't have time to stop, or it's just not convenient to stop. You're in a big old truck driving down the road. You can't just pull over like you can in a car and use the restroom real quick and jump back on. It's much more difficult, and yet
Yeah.
still don't treat them with civility sometimes in that place. Some carriers don't do a good job of treating their drivers very well. It's almost just like we just see them as an expendable commodity, which is just terrible. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we've been very fortunate to work with companies that really do the right thing by their people, and they truly have a great program. They have a great opportunity, if, for their people. They just needed help, positioning it differently and being able to
Right.
find out where those drivers were. So they already had like the product was good. Again, it was just communicating that and putting it in a position where it was intriguing to drivers, right? And again, we were able to notice some pretty immediate results there. But yeah, that is really
Yeah.
important. Yeah, for companies that don't pay people well, they don't treat them well, and then they wonder why the turnover is so high, right? So
Right.
I think that's
Yeah.
really important. And if from a show earlier in the week, I really liked your comment about drivers voting with their feet, and that's something that I'm going to continue to borrow, and I'll give you credit for it. But I thought that was a really good point, that drivers, if they stay somewhere or if they don't stay, they're placing their vote for sure.
Well, and you can tell the difference between a really great outfit, a great carrier that treats their drivers well and they don't. You just look at their turnover rate. Look at the
Yeah.
energy when you go into a terminal or when you get to actually talk to drivers. You can just tell, right? And
Mm.
it makes a huge difference. And so I love that they do vote with their feet. If they find a better opportunity, they're going to go. So as a carrier, it costs a lot of money to replace a driver, especially if they know
Mhm.
what they're doing. They know all the processes. They're doing a great job. If they're doing a great job, you should do everything you can to retain them and treating them just like a human sometimes. I think that people would actually take less money to work with people that they appreciate, who know that respect them, than to go work for more money if it's a bad place. I mean, you can actually save money by being a great company by treating
Yeah.
people well. You can because people want more than just money. If they can't get everything else, they'll take it, but
100.
they want more than just money.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
I'll share an interesting observation. So we do quite a number of surveys with drivers, and a survey I did quite some time ago. There was, and these are common questions, but we asked two main questions. Number one is why do you want to be a truck driver? And then number two is why did you choose this specific company? And the number one reason why they chose to be a truck driver was the income opportunity. But that second question of why they chose that company, for all the companies we've done it with, it's never been the money. It's always about whether it's the safety, reputation, how they're treated, whatever it may be, communication. Those things are a lot more important, and pay often is quite far down the list of reasons why they chose that
Yeah.
company.
And I think
Yeah.
great companies and great leaders, they understand that. They get that, and that's where we want to elevate how people are treating people, how they're leading, and understand what's really really important. You can't just throw
Yeah.
money at a problem and expect it to be fixed. That's a
Mhm.
short-sighted way to view leadership and to view a company. And so, really thinking
Definitely.
about the long game, how you're treating people is really important.
Mhm.
All right, so we got our good friend
Agree.
Patrick McFarland who's in the comments. He said we're looking good, but let me tell you, Lionel, we never looked better than we were all together down at
Yeah.
TMSA for a little fun. In fact, I just want to let you know I actually have the video today that
Oh
we
no.
should show
All right.
everybody.
Oh
So
boy.
without further ado, here we go. This is from TMSA Level Up. This is how we started the conference. And folks, listen, if you're thinking about going to a TMSA event, let me just tell you, we have the most fun. We have great people, great personalities, and have a good time. So here is the beginning of TMSA 2022 this year down in Orlando. Here we go.
As it's loading, I will warn everyone, I do have a rhythm disorder, I think. So, yeah.
Let me tell you what was really great about that.
Yeah.
We didn't practice much, that's for sure. We didn't
Not
practice
at all,
nearly.
really. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't practice, but here's what's cool is that I remember I asked Jennifer. I said, "Hey, I have this idea. and it was like a day before, I think day or two
Yeah,
before. It was very like the creative juices were going. I said, I have this idea. What if we kicked it off with something fun? I just had an idea. I said, who in this audience that I don't even know, who would be great people to do this? And she mentioned you and Patrick McFarland and so many others. And I just reached out to
yeah,
you guys, and you were like, yeah, let's do it. And I don't even know why.
yeah.
Maybe this would be a good chance for you to explain, why did you say yes to that?
Oh yeah, there wasn't even a question of not doing it, to be honest. And yeah, I didn't know you. We hadn't met or communicated at the time. I will say, one thing, likely that was a big reason for that is the TMSA really has been outstanding, for me, professionally and personally. There's lots of people in TMSA that I consider close
Amazing
friends,
organization. Yeah.
right now. And everything, when I started, like, as I mentioned, when I first got into transportation, I knew nothing about trucking. So TMSA was a great opportunity for me to learn from other experts what I needed to know and what their challenges were and what the opportunities were. And then as I spent more years in the industry, things changed where I was now able to help, those people coming into the industry, ramp up their knowledge as well. But it's been great. Like anything that I've built in this industry, there's people on the call right now that I've shared the ideas with, got feedback from, so it's been great from that perspective. So in that case, again, TMSA asked me something, and you by extension, there was no question.
Yeah, well, it spoke volumes about the organization, their willingness to collaborate, to have fun, to laugh at ourselves a little bit, to have a good time. And I was just so thankful because it was my first experience with TMSA, and that was really the kind of the opening for me. So I appreciate you doing that, and Patrick and so many others that jumped in and had a good time with that. It was a lot of fun. And I'll say this, I'm going to say this on every show that we talk about TMSA. I'm just absolutely blown away by what you just said, which was you had a lot of people help you when you came into the industry through TMSA, and now you want to help other people. That spirit of collaboration and helping other people, it just permeates the entire organization. I've never seen anything like it in our industry, how willing
Mhm.
people are to help direct competitors even. I mean, and competitors, it's a loose term, but like people who are doing the same thing, like we could be going after the same client, but yet you're willing to help me grow and vice versa. It's amazing.
Yeah, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. All right. So, and speaking of helping people out, you got something that you're launching coming up that I want to talk about. So I want to make sure I get it right. It's a seated trucks mastermind. The first one's going to be coming up here on September 22nd. Tell us a little about what that is and why you decided to do that.
Yeah, well, actually, just as you were commenting around the collaboration, that's a big component of it. And for those of you that are watching that aren't maybe familiar with the concept of a mastermind, it isn't just about content, but there is content. So basically, what I'm basically doing is I'm launching a beta group. So we have this for 10 trucking companies, and I'll basically be teaching what I've historically been doing for our trucking clients and to recruit truck drivers. And have predictable leads coming in, over time on demand. But rather than paying a third party to have to do that for you, we're basically teaching trucking companies how to be able to, run this internally anyway at a fraction of the cost. So with a mastermind, there's, three main components. There's the content, which is actually all of the information that someone needs to build out this modern marketing machine. So that's the content part. And then there's the community part. So just like you mentioned with TMSA, there's a portal where all of the members will be in there and be able to network. And we actually have collaboration calls once a week. So if someone wants to show their landing pages or job descriptions or, a new driver video and get feedback, that will be there as well. And then there's also the commitment part of a mastermind. So it's basically again this program and organization of people all looking to help build everybody up and moving forward. So it isn't just about my expertise. It's really about that group as a whole, moving everyone forward. So anyways, that's a little bit about that. But basically, yeah, it's everything that someone would need to know if they have either no team or a small team. And even for some of the larger fleets out there, they may have recruiters in different areas, or if they're bringing someone on as a recruiter that maybe doesn't have transportation experience, if they're part of this program, they would actually have a lot of content to ramp up their skills pretty quickly as well.
And you're going to be starting with like only 10 trucking companies, correct? And
That's
the
right.
first
Yeah. So
one?
we're starting with,
Yeah.
yeah, that's right. We're starting with the first 10. and then it will grow beyond that. But yeah, that's basically what
Do you
we're
have all
getting
10, or
started
are you
with.
still looking for some companies that might
We're
want to
just
participate?
this actually outside of some one-to-one conversations I've had with a few close friends and colleagues. This is really our first time publicly mentioning that the beta is open, and if people have questions, of course, they can reach out and find out more about what it is. But I personally, I am part of a mastermind as well. Plus, I have a fitness coach and an investment coach, and I really believe in having those people and resources in your life to be able to help move you forward. Because often, business or even being an employee in a trucking company can be lonely sometimes, right? You may be the only person in that company that understanding the lingo and what you're trying to do, right? So it's nice to have that support system of people exactly like you doing the same thing. And again, everyone's trying to move everybody forward.
Well, it's interesting you talk about having coaches, because it always amazes me when we think about it. Like, throughout our entire childhood, we have coaches, we have sports coaches, we have musical coaches, we have all these people that are teaching us and coaching us and guiding us throughout the way. But then when we get to adulthood, a lot of times we think that that's silly, or that like
Mhm.
it's embarrassing, or we don't need them, or whatever you want to say. But I'll say this: the greatest athletes in the world, they all have coaches in certain areas to help them get better. I mean,
Yeah,
Tom Brady has a throwing coach. How is it possible that Tom Brady has a throwing coach, right? I mean, it's just
yeah,
crazy to think about that. So I love it when people are willing to be coached and have coaches in their life. You have a health coach, right? I mean, you could probably
yeah,
figure it out on your own, but you have a health coach in your life for a reason. That's to help you
exactly.
with, different things that they're experts in, have accountability, have somebody looking from the outside and help you get better.
Yeah,
Those things are all so valuable. And I love the fact that you're doing that. So excited to
yeah.
see where that goes. And how often do you think you're going to have, these masterminds?
Well, it'll be an ongoing program. So we're just starting again with that first 10, and then we'll be able to bring more people in within the next few weeks after that. But if we really want to have that initial group of 10 going through it,
Ah,
because
very good.
again,
Okay.
that way we'll be able to work out the kinks. And also the other thing is, we're actively recruiting truck drivers right now for clients, so we know what we think people want to know. But if those 10 people come in and there's a certain topic that is coming up a lot that people need help in, we want to have the flexibility to be able to add that content to the program and be able to help those people out. So again, it's not the Lionel Johnston show. It's really about
Right.
us as a group moving everyone forward and basically taking it where it needs to go to make sure we're all achieving our goals and ultimately providing great opportunities for truck drivers out there, right? So
Yeah, no, that's great. And we've got the link there, and we'll put it in the comments as well. So if you're watching and want to learn more about this, just click on the comment that Ruth will put into the comments today in the show notes, and then that way you can check out more information about that. I think that's really cool. And anything that we can do to help companies and help drivers just continue to be better and continue to grow is only good for the industry. So I love it, man. Thank
yeah,
you so much for putting that together. That's awesome. Okay, we've got
yeah.
a couple of things that we got to talk about today. Do you want to make one more comment? Go ahead. You want to
I no, I don't have to, but if I
go
could
for it?
share maybe one thing, one of my first observations when I joined TMSA many years ago was a lot of the marketers that I met, their biggest complaint was a lack of buy-in and support from the companies that they were working with, right? And that is a big part of this program, is really helping someone understand the mindset and treating this area of the business as an investment rather than an expense. So again, mindset's a really big part of this, and basically teaching someone how to be able to get buy-in within their organization as well. So anyway, just wanted to mention that.
No, that's awesome. That's cool. All right, so we
Yeah.
have a couple segments that we want to go over real quick. Some new things that we've been throwing out there. By the way, do you know what day it is today? It's always a national day here in the States. I know you're up in Canada, it might not be the same, but do you know what
Yeah.
national day it is here in the States?
I do not, and I've seen you ask this question a few times, but I didn't even look it up because I wanted to find out at the same time as you
I
here.
I wonder if people are starting to look it up now. Some regular watchers might actually start looking up
Yeah.
ahead of time. But it is National Teddy Bear Day. Do you
Okay.
have any teddy bears, Lionel?
Well, personally, I don't, but I've got three daughters. They're getting older now, but we've had our fair share of teddy bears for sure. I will
I've got
say,
two daughters. Yeah, go ahead.
oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I will say, I'm actually on a road trip this weekend with my parents, which is fun. We haven't done that in a long time, just the three of us. But if you remember the Wrinkles, do you remember those stuffed animals back in the
I
day?
do.
It was like a
Yes.
little,
Yeah.
it was like a Shar-Pei dog, and it was like a puppet. And
Yep.
my parents just went to the end of the earth to find me one for Christmas one year, and there was only one left in Winnipeg, and it was injured. So my mom actually bought it and she sewed it back together. But anyway, that was probably the last teddy bear type thing I had.
Where is
But I
that
still
today?
I
Is it
still
in a
remember that.
box
Yeah,
somewhere? Is
yeah,
it somewhere where you could pull it if you wanted it or no?
yeah. I think it's actually at my mom and dad's right now. Yeah, yeah. It's a gray wrinkle. Anyway, yeah, that's so
You'll
funny.
have to mention it to
How,
them that it's National Teddy Bear Day. I've got, my daughter's in the bedroom straight upstairs from where I'm at right now. I could go up there and I could probably pull 40 teddy bears.
oh yeah,
In
yeah,
fact, one daughter keeps all of them, and they're all on her bed
yeah,
still. And some of them
yeah,
are pretty good size. Like maybe about
yeah,
that tall or so. Whatever. I mean, they're good size.
yeah.
So yeah, we've
I
got
will
plenty of them
give
there.
you a quick parenting tip. When you want to rid your house of these teddy bears, dogs are great at that. So they just come and grab it and rip them to shreds, and they get rid of them one at a time. So it's been good for us. Yeah,
No, that's awesome. And
yeah.
interject real quick before we go any further. Patrick says that he was told the video would be burned afterwards. I didn't say that, Patrick. I'm sorry whoever told you that, but that unfortunately is not the case and won't be the case. It's going to be around for a long time, my friend. It's going to be around.
Yeah,
It's going
the
to be around.
internet
So
never
there we go.
forgets. Yeah.
That's right. It never forgets. It's on TikTok. I mean, it's not going away. That's for sure. All
Yeah.
right. So we also have one more segment that we do every show, the random question of the day. You've seen this now. You've watched a couple shows. Again, I don't know what the question is. You don't know what the question is. I'm not sure if it's going to be good, funny, or whatever. But we're going to find out what it is and talk about it. So the random question of the day today is: if you could hang out with one historical figure for a day in your time or in their time, who would it be and when?
Hmm.
Hmm.
That is an
Interesting.
interesting question.
Hmm. Got anybody
Well,
off the top of your head?
yeah. So how about this? This is actually an interesting idea. So being from Winnipeg and in central Canada, Louis Riel is a big figure in our area of the world, and leading the Métis Nation, but between the settlers and the indigenous communities and so on. Like it would be pretty interesting to have a discussion
Hmm.
of his perspective.
Yeah.
From his day. Yeah, I think that would be pretty
Are you a
interesting.
history buff? Do you like historical figures? Do you
Uh, I
study a little bit?
enjoy it, but I don't necessarily actively seek out historical content. So I mean, that was the first person that came to mind just with the question. So
Yeah,
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 interesting. Okay, no, that's good. I've got a couple. I'm not sure which one to go with, but because I kind of want to spend some time on the range, just hanging out with Ben Hogan because I'm a golfer.
mm,
That would have been fun
yeah,
just to sit there and listen to him talk about hitting a golf ball. That would be fun. That was back in the 40s and 50s, yeah,
yeah,
30s,
yeah.
40s, 50s, somewhere in there. Would have enjoyed being in the White House to listen to some conversations with Abraham Lincoln back in the day, with
Oh yeah,
the civil rights or the Civil War and all that was happening around slavery and ending all that and his place. And all. That'd be fascinating to be a fly on the wall or just be able to
for
sit down
sure.
and listen to some of those conversations as well. Of
Mm,
course, would love to go back and just see all the things that you read about in the Bible about what Jesus did. That'd be pretty crazy seeing some of
mm,
that. So there's a few that would be interesting. But I think if I had to pick a modern day one, just because I'm a golfer, I'd pick Tiger Woods. It'd be cool just to sit on the range with him or play around a golf and listen to him talk about golf. That'd be pretty. That'd be pretty awesome.
definitely. Yeah, it would be.
Because, or actually, let me back up one more. I would actually. This is interesting. I would actually go back to the late 1950s, early 1960s, and I would hang out with my dad. He
Mm,
passed away 17 years ago. We didn't have a great relationship. Didn't get to have those great conversations as adults that you have with parents. That when you're a kid, you don't think about it, but when you get older, you start
right.
thinking about it and having good. Didn't get those conversations. So I would love to go back
Mm,
and see a little more about what his life was like as a kid growing up and hang out and just see that because just missed out on a lot of that. So that would be
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
cool time. It's great. I got a
That would
lot.
be
Okay,
for
so that
sure.
was a good question. That was a thought provoking question, not
Very
funny at
good.
all.
Yeah,
Not funny
yeah.
at all, but that was a good question. All right, so Lionel, we're almost done here. We're wrapping this show up. What's what are some things we need to be on the lookout for with when it comes to driver recruiting, when it comes to marketing? Like what are some tips that you have for companies out there in order to do this the right way, to do the right thing?
Yeah, well, yeah, great question. And no doubt there are some serious challenges in the industry as it relates to drivers. But what I have seen time and time again is that if a company is really able to take time to look at what they have to offer and make sure that what they have to offer is compelling and truly focused on their driver, and then they are able to find out how to get to where those drivers are, that they're able to have an immediate impact on their business and helping people out. But a couple of things that I definitely have seen is a lot of companies, and this is common in sales, right? Where as a salesperson, we have quotas and targets we have to hit. We're always focused on what our needs are rather than what the customer is. So, if I could share one tip, it would really be looking at the driver recruitment area of your business through a sales lens rather than like an HR or admin lens. And I don't mean HR and admin shouldn't play a role, but when you're building a relationship with someone and pulling them into the company and finding out about them, that's really like a sales type role, right? And building pipelines and things like that. So just having that mentality, I think really makes a big difference. And one quick thing on that, if you look at where the sales team and HR teams fall on a balance sheet, they're quite different, right? One's seen as an expense, one's seen as an investment. So again, treat the driver recruitment as a function of sales, at least in the mentality or philosophies, and that can make a big difference for sure.
Yeah, no, those are great tips. Tell a great story, but it's got to line up with reality. And then take that sales approach of like, how can I help you? What do you need? How can I help you get what you want? Always a great approach to do that. Lionel, love getting a chance to talk to you. This went by way too fast. We're going to have you back on the show again sometime. And hope that you have a great race. Up in Thunder Bay tomorrow. Hope you complete it and don't get injured. So those are the two major things for guys our age for sure. So
those are the only goals.
Yeah, that's right. And everybody watching, thanks for being in the comments. Thanks for participating today. We appreciate that. Make sure you come back on Monday. Got a great conversation with my friend Jory Myers, who's a part of Atlanta Dispatch. He's a great guy, doing some great things for drivers as well down in the Atlanta community and across the nation. And again, don't forget it's Friday, so we got Word on the Street coming up this afternoon with Matt Smalley. With the Street Crew. It's going to be a great time as well. And don't forget to pick up some swag. We've got some Finish Strong Friday swag at our swag store. So check that out when you get a chance at shop.betaconsultinggroup.com and be a part of our community. Take a picture if you get it. Lionel, again, we appreciate you being on the show, man. We'll talk to you real soon, everybody. Have a fabulous weekend out there. We'll see you guys soon.